Guitar playing goes so much better with coffee. Frequently asked questions. A lot of people say, I can't play a flying V. How do you play one sitting down? The trick is your legs. Balance it over this one, pin this one between here, bring your foot up just a touch. If you need to, you can get one of the little classical guitar playing footrests. I used to use one for years, but I got lazy and now I just... Oh, come on. I switched channels. Alright, so let's go ahead and go over our warm-ups again. Always start out with your warm-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4 on every string. Down. Now don't dot, 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 dot. That's another problem most people have. It's not... We're trying to make short, controlled motions of the pick. That's it. If you're part of the shred program, you got to do the all the way up to the 12th fret. First fret, then 12th fret, second fret, then third fret, then fourth, then fifth, and sixth, and seventh, eighth, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th. Once you get to about week 4 of that, you got to start going on the rule of one mistake, one clam, start all over again. E, A or 5th string, D or 4th string, G or 3rd string. There's your B string, E string. So let's go ahead and get the A chord. There's a couple different ways to do this. You'll see me go back and forth with it. One is to use each finger. So I've got A, E, A, C sharp, E. So in other words, that's just O, 2, 2, 2, O. Like that. Okay, B. The B chord is just tough for a lot of beginners to play. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an easier one. If you want to try this later on, you're basically going to bar across all 5 strings with your first finger, and then same thing, pinky, ring, and middle finger playing on the 4th fret. So it's 2 barred across and 4th frets for the rest. If you hear, you've got your pinky flat. Make sure you're bridging your fingers properly. How do you get this? That's different for everybody. The whole idea is your finger curves, and you have to find where you turn your finger, curl it, how much, and where to turn to make that finger flat. That's all there is to it, to be able to bridge your strings like that. So if you can't bar, which is Spanish for finger, we use a lot of Spanish terms in guitar. To bar, you use your finger like that. Just find how to curl it and roll it to get it to where it's completely straight. That's all there is to it. But let's work on a different B chord. We'll do a B7. Get a nice jazzy sound. Could do a B9. Okay. So this one is on the 5th string, 2nd fret, 4th string, 1st fret. It's on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, and on the 1st string, 2nd fret. Leave your 2nd string completely open. That's B7, or B dominant 7. There's a lot of abbreviations in music. What they mean, I'll explain later on when we get to the music theory class, because that gets very important. All right, C. 3rd fret, 5th string, 2nd fret on the 4th, open 3rd, 1st fret on the 2nd, and open 1st string. A lot of variations to this one. You can also, since you're getting the G note in there, you can also play this with the pinky holding the 3rd fret on the 1st string, also known as C/G. And if your fingers are large enough, you can get a C major 6 in there. which is to hold the A note on the first string. But for now, just worry about this basic C chord. D has a triangle to it. Open 5th string, open 4th string, 2nd fret 3rd string, 3rd fret on the 2nd string, and 2nd fret on the 1st string. Now the D chord gets used a lot because it's easy to do sus chords, and what sus chords are is you're replacing one of the notes in the chord. This is really complicated, and we'll get into that in the music theory thing. It's not complicated in what you're playing, it's just complicated in what you're doing. So if you hear that, what I'm doing is I'm get some of this down so you can hear it. Hope you can hear that. Next up is the E chord. This is the one chord everyone who learns to play guitar loves this chord. For obvious reasons, it's really handy, and plus it sounds cool. So, open 6th string, 2nd fret 5th string, 2nd fret 4th string. That's your 5th chord. We'll talk about those in a minute. So now we've got the 1st fret on the 3rd string, open 2nd string, open 1st string. That's your E chord. Now if we were to slide it up one, that's a variation of your F, but to play the F, you got to bar. Remember barring from the B? You would have to bar there, and it's basically like the E. You're just sliding up a fret and barring there. We'll go over later some of the stuff I'm doing on the guitar here, much later, but let's do an easier to play F chord, because that barring thing is really difficult for beginners. You gotta know it by about week 5, but for right now we're just trying to get you a simple F major 7 chord. So you can play it either with the open A string, like that, or you can play it by adding a C. So here's one way to do it. Open 5th string, 3rd fret on the 4th string, 2nd fret on the 3rd string, 1st fret on the, let's see, did I do this right? 3, 2, 1. How you play it is open 5th string, 3rd fret on the 4th, 2nd fret on the 3rd, 1st fret on the 2nd, open 1st string. This is an F major 7 chord. A lot easier for beginners than trying to get the whole, not as happy sounding, but. Now what you can also do is you can also add the C note here. So basically the same chord, you're just adding, instead of the open 5th string, 3rd fret on the 5th string. Once you get past what's called a dominant chord or a major 7 chord, you're going to have to drop notes to get some of the notes in that you're trying to play, like a dominant 9, things like that. Again, we'll worry about that when we get there. Don't worry about it right now. All right, so now we got a G. Again, a couple different ways to do the G. Let's just do the most common one. What we got here is 3rd fret 6th string, 5th fret, or the 2nd fret 5th string, open 4th, open 3rd. You can do this either with the open 2nd string or the D note there, which is the 3rd fret, either or either way, whichever way you like. It's both, they're still G chords. But isn't it a different fingering pattern? Yes. You just got your first real hint of music theory there, and it's no worries about it now. Just learn this pattern. 3 2 0 0 0 3. So as you're finding out, you can put fingers on chords, take fingers off chords. Now if you play a chord and it sounds bad, don't do it again. That one's okay. How about... All right, so those are your major chords. 3 minor chords and we'll be done with the chord lesson. So let's do A minor. Originally the way I did it was the first lesson, you would get your warm-ups and just those 7 major chords. I started thinking about it after I retired from guitar teaching that probably the best way to do it would have been to give you some minor chords as well. So that's why I've added 3 more chords. No worries. It just now it rewards you with being able to play songs right off the bat. So here's your A minor, open 5th string, 2nd fret 4th, 2nd fret 3rd, 1st fret on the 2nd, open 1st string. See how I went from the A minor to the C? Handy trick to know. All I'm doing is moving one finger. My ring finger here is going to the 5th string. That's it. A minor, C. Get my pinky out the way. My pinky's something of a wild thing and I just hate the thing. I'm going to the G there. So, A minor, one more, D minor. So D minor is basically like a D major, except instead of the 2nd fret on the 1st string, you're doing the 1st fret. Just sad, you hear it and automatically you weep. Did anyone catch the movie that quote was from? If you know, put it in the comments. All right, E minor, last of your minor chords, and then you're done with the chords for today. This is basically the entire open guitar, except you're going to do the 2nd fret on the 5th string and 2nd fret on the 4th string. Each individual note is called a fret, by the way. Now, I used to ask students this question, and no one ever knew the answer to it. I never knew the answer to it. Is it called a fretting saw because it cuts frets? Or are they called frets because you use a fretting saw to cut them?
Shut up!
E minor. So, your chords today were A major, B dominant 7, or B major 7 if you can get it. I showed you how to do it. I'm just not expecting you to know it right now. Later on, go back and learn how to, once you know how to bridge, bar your chords, go ahead and try that. C, D, E, F major 7. I also showed you an F, but again, you're not responsible for that right now. Same as with the B, once you know how to bar your fingers and bridge, at that point, go ahead and start doing your F major also. And then G. Couple different variations of D's and G's I showed you, and C's I think also. So A minor, D minor, and E minor. Believe it or not, There are people that is their entire career is knowing how to play just those chords. So where do we go from here? Where we go from here is in the next lesson. We're going to go from how to go from one chord to another to another. It's really simple. I'm just going to trick you into doing it. Incidentally, quick rant. When you're a guitar teacher and you find out a prospective student is already taking lessons from someone else, do not pirate those students. You have no integrity if you do that. All right, so next lesson we're going to work on how to go from one chord to another to another. The third lesson, what I would always do with students is I would say, all right, I'm going to test you on week 2. You have to play from one chord to another without stopping. Once you do that, you can play guitar. Your 4th week would always be learning how to play a song. I always taught everyone the same song. If they didn't have one, I taught you Bad Moon Rising by Creedence Clearwater Revival, because it had all chords you already know. All right. You are now a guitar player. So, go take your guitar, practice your chords and everything. I just need 30 minutes a day of practice. Every day, 30 minutes. Go grab your guitar, go play. If you already know how to play and you want to get better, as these videos go along, you'll find more in there on how to do that, just not this particular one. And be sure to check out my Journey to Shred playlist. That's going to have my progress of trying to recover my chops of getting back to being a shredder. That might sound impressive to some of you. That was horrible. So, see you next time, and remember, practice. See ya!